You can always tell where you stand with someone by how consistently they show up for you, not just with their words, but with their energy, their time, and their actions. When a man sees a woman as just an option, you'll feel it in the way he moves through your life. It's not always loud or obvious. In fact, sometimes it's subtle. You'll get the good morning text. Occasionally, he'll call you. When he's bored, he'll ask to hang out. When his schedule suddenly opens up, or when something else fell through. It's not that he disappears entirely, because that would be too easy to read. Instead, he keeps just enough presence to keep your hope alive. But underneath that, there's no rhythm, no real effort, no follow-through. His consistency is tied to convenience. If it's easy, if it doesn't disrupt his world, if he doesn't have to stretch or commit, then he's there. But the second things require intention, the second you need support or emotional presence or something that doesn't serve him directly, he becomes distant or busy or suddenly unclear about what he wants. This is how you know you're being treated as an option. He might not say it out loud, but his behavior will whisper it to you again and again. I'm here when it suits me. And when something suits him more, you'll feel the shift. You'll feel the drop in energy, the change in tone, the silence between your messages getting longer and longer. And the truth is, it's not always malicious. It's not that he's playing games or being cruel on purpose. Sometimes men don't even realize they're doing it, but that doesn't make it any less real for you. Because when someone is inconsistent with you, your nervous system starts to react. You start questioning yourself. You wonder if you're asking for too much. You begin walking on eggshells, shrinking your needs just to keep him around. You make excuses for his behavior. He's busy. He's been through a lot. Maybe I should just give it more time. But deep down, you know what it feels like to be an afterthought, even when he's still technically there. Now, let's flip that for a second, because when a man sees a woman as the one, the dynamic completely changes. You'll notice it not because of some grand romantic gestures or poetic words. You'll notice it in how steady he is. You'll feel it in the small things that suddenly mean everything. He'll text you not because he has nothing else to do, but because you're already on his mind. He'll check in because he genuinely cares how your day went, not because he's trying to keep you hooked. When he makes plans, he doesn't cancel them last minute or keep them vague. He confirms, he shows up. He honors your time because he respects your presence in his life. You won't be left wondering whether you're important to him because his actions will answer that for you over and over again. And here's the key difference: when you're the one, he shows up even when it's not convenient. He puts in effort on the days he's tired, stressed, or busy, not because he's trying to impress you, but because he values you. It doesn't feel like you're chasing him, trying to earn his energy. Instead, there's a natural flow, a mutual showing up, a steady emotional presence that makes you feel safe, chosen, and valued. And that doesn't mean everything is perfect or effortless, but even in imperfection, there's consistency. Even in disagreement, there's respect. Even in silence, there's trust. Because real love, is not just about how someone treats you when it's easy. It's about how they treat you when it's hard. When life gets busy, when misunderstandings happen, when emotions run high, do they still show up with care, with clarity, with the intention to make it work? Or do they retreat? Do they use the chaos of life as an excuse to disengage? That's how you know. That's how you differentiate between a man who's just keeping you around versus a man who's building something with you. And I want to be very clear, when a man is serious about you, you won't have to decode mixed signals. You won't have to become a detective analyzing texts, overthinking pauses, wondering if you're asking for too much. His presence will be obvious, his consistency will be loud, and it won't just be about being romantic or charming. It will be about being reliable. It will be about showing up when it matters, and even more importantly, showing up when it doesn't, on the ordinary days, in the quiet moments, through the mundane parts of life where love is built, not just performed. Some of you are tolerating inconsistency because you're afraid that asking for more might push him away. But the truth is, asking for consistency doesn't push away the right person. It only exposes the wrong one. A man who sees you as the one won't be scared by your standards. He'll rise to meet them, and not because he's trying to win you, but because he knows your value and he doesn't want to lose it. So if you find yourself in a dynamic where the energy is sporadic, the effort is minimal, and you're doing all the emotional labor just to maintain the connection, it's time to stop asking, why won't he step up? And start asking, why am I stepping down? You deserve to be someone's choice, not someone's convenience. And the man who truly sees you as the one will never make you feel like you're just an option. He'll make sure you know every single day without needing to ask. There's a very specific feeling you get when you're connecting with someone on a surface level. It can feel exciting, flirty, even emotionally charged at times, but something always feels slightly out of reach. Like no matter how many conversations you have, or how often you see each other, you still don't really know where you stand. That's what it feels like to be treated as an option. A man who sees you as just an option might still enjoy your company. He might compliment you, flirt with you, and show you just enough warmth to keep you close. But when it comes to emotional depth, he stays guarded. He gives you charm, but not vulnerability. He talks, but doesn't open up. He listens, but only enough to keep the connection light. It never truly deepens into something that feels secure and honest. And that's where the confusion kicks in. Because you are connecting on some level, it's not completely empty, but it's often playful instead of personal. It's teasing instead of truth, and while that kind of interaction can feel addictive, it often leaves you emotionally hungry. You leave conversations feeling like you wanted more, but you can't quite put your finger on what. It's like being fed sugar when what your heart really craves is something nourishing, something real. When you're just an option, he avoids emotional intimacy without making it obvious. He might laugh off serious topics. He might change the subject when things get too vulnerable, or he might say just enough to make it seem like he's opening up, but never quite goes there. You don't get the full picture of his world. He doesn't include you in the moments that matter. He shares stories, but not feelings. And most of what you know about him feels filtered, curated. You get the version of him he wants you to see, not the one that shows up when the mask is off. Now compare that to what it feels like when a man sees you as the one. Suddenly, everything slows down. He's not just trying to impress you, he's trying to connect with you. He doesn't rush through moments, he lingers in them. Conversations feel grounded. He shares pieces of himself, not just his opinions or achievements, but his fears, his hopes, his disappointments, the parts of him that don't feel polished. And you start to realize he's not just giving you his attention, he's giving you access. And when a man gives you access to his inner world, that's a sign of trust. That's him saying, I feel safe enough to be seen by you. Because emotional intimacy isn't just about talking more. It's about letting someone witness the parts of you that aren't always easy to share. The parts that are unfiltered, the moments when you're not performing, and when a man is genuinely invested in a woman, he wants to build that kind of closeness, not just for her, but for himself too, because love without vulnerability isn't love, it's performance. And here's the thing, that kind of depth isn't always romantic or dramatic. Sometimes it shows up in quiet ways. It's the way he remembers something small you said in passing. It's the way he asks follow-up questions, not just because he's being polite, but because he genuinely cares to understand. It's the way he holds space for your emotions without needing to fix them, dismiss them, or redirect them back to himself. You'll notice that when something's bothering you, he doesn't disappear or get uncomfortable. He leans in. He's emotionally available, not just in moments of passion, but in moments of pain or doubt or confusion. When you're the one, you'll feel emotionally seen, and that feeling is powerful, it's calming, it makes you feel safe to open up, because you know you won't be judged, minimized, or pushed away. And it's not just about the words anyone can say, you can tell me anything. But when a man means it, he proves it with his presence. He listens differently. He doesn't interrupt or try to steer the conversation back to himself. He listens because he's invested, because your inner world matters to him as much as his own. And something shifts inside you when that happens. You start showing up more fully. You start expressing yourself with more clarity, not because you're trying to keep his attention, but because you trust that your vulnerability is safe in his hands. And this is the kind of emotional foundation that creates real connection. That kind of connection can't be faked. It's felt, and it becomes a space where both people grow not by trying to impress each other, but by being honest with each other. But too often, people settle for surface-level connection because they mistake intensity for intimacy. Just because someone texts you all day, just because they flirt or make you laugh or say all the right things in the moment, doesn't mean they're emotionally invested. Intensity is easy. Vulnerability takes courage, and not everyone is ready for that. That's why emotional consistency is such a powerful sign. When a man shows up with both presence and depth, it means he's not just emotionally attracted to you, he's emotionally available for you. So the next time you find yourself in a situation where you're doing all the emotional work, where you're constantly trying to get him to open up, or trying to feel a deeper connection that never quite lands, pause, ask yourself, is this dynamic feeding you or draining you? Are you being seen or are you being entertained? There's a difference between someone who wants to have fun with you and someone who wants to build with you. And when a man sees you as the one, you'll feel the difference. You won't feel like you have to pry his heart open. He'll hand it to you piece by piece because he wants you to know him. He won't just connect with you when he wants to be distracted. He'll connect with you because he wants to be known. There's a big difference between a man who is possessive and a man who is protective. And if you're not paying attention, it's easy to confuse the two. At first glance, they might look similar. Both might say they care. Both might want your time, your attention, your loyalty. But the energy behind them, that's where everything changes. When a man sees you as just an option, his desire to keep you around often stems from insecurity, not genuine connection. He doesn't want to lose you, not because he values you deeply, but because losing you means losing a sense of control. Possessiveness isn't about love, it's about fear. It's about ownership. It's about him needing to feel powerful, needing to feel like he still has your attention, even if he's not doing the work to earn it. You'll know this kind of man by how uncomfortable he gets when you have a life outside of him. Maybe he pulls away when you're out with your friends or gets annoyed when you don't answer your phone fast enough. Maybe he gets jealous easily or starts throwing subtle jabs, making you feel guilty for doing things that make you happy without him. It doesn't feel like he wants to support your independence. It feels like he's trying to manage it, to limit it, to make sure that he stays the center of your world, even if he's not showing up as someone who deserves that place. And that's the problem with being treated as an option. It often comes with control disguised as concern. He'll say things like, "I just worry about you," or "I just care so much," but his actions won't reflect care, they'll reflect control. He's not asking how your night went because he wants to connect, he's doing it to track your movements. He's not checking in because he wants to support you, he's doing it to make sure you're still orbiting around him. It's subtle, sometimes it even feels flattering at first, but over time it starts to shrink you. It makes you feel like you have to choose between your freedom and his approval. That is not love, because when a man truly sees you as the one, that need for control disappears, and what replaces it is protection. A man who loves you doesn't need to limit your world. He wants to add to it. He doesn't feel threatened by your independence. He's proud of it. He doesn't get jealous of your passions. He supports them. He doesn't try to clip your wings to feel closer to you. Instead, he stands beside you and says, "Fly, I've got you." And that's what protection looks like. It's not loud. It doesn't puff its chest out. It doesn't show up through jealousy or suspicion or overbearing behavior. It shows up through presence, through steadiness, through the way he holds space for your emotions, your voice, your needs. He wants you to be fully expressed, not just because he's secure in himself, but because he knows your strength is part of what makes you you. And he never wants to dim that. You'll feel it in the way he respects your boundaries, in the way he talks to you when you're upset, not to silence you, but to understand you. In the way he stands up for you, not because he wants to prove something, but because your well-being matters to him. This isn't about possessiveness. This is about care. This is about him making sure you feel safe, emotionally and otherwise, in his presence. And that safety creates something powerful. It creates trust. It creates a foundation where you can be vulnerable, open, expressive, and unfiltered without fear of being punished for it. You won't find yourself walking on eggshells with this kind of man. You won't be wondering, if I speak my truth, will he pull away? Or if I grow too much, will I outshine him? Because he's not trying to compete with you. He's not trying to contain you. He's trying to champion you. He's not afraid of your power, he's inspired by it. And let's be real for a second. A man who truly sees you as the one wants to protect your heart. He's not reckless with your emotions. He doesn't say things just to get a reaction or disappear when things get tough. He doesn't play with your insecurities or push you just to see how far you'll bend. When you're hurting, he notices. When you're anxious, he cares. And when you're quiet, he doesn't just let it pass, he checks in, not to fix you, not to judge you, but to let you know you're not alone. And it's not just about protecting you from external things. It's about how he protects you from himself too. From his own ego, from his own triggers, from his own capacity to hurt you in moments of frustration or miscommunication. A man who sees you as the one is aware of the impact he has on you. He chooses his words more carefully. He takes responsibility when he's wrong. He doesn't let his pride lead the relationship. He lets love lead it. That kind of emotional maturity is rare, but when it's there, you feel it. You feel it in the softness of his tone when you're vulnerable. You feel it in the way he steps up during difficult moments. You feel it in the way he never makes you question your worth, even during conflict. And this is what separates love rooted in fear from love rooted in strength. A man who sees you as an option may try to possess you, but he'll never truly protect you because he's not protecting your heart. He's just guarding his ego. But a man who sees you as the one, he protects not just your heart, but the space between you. He honors it. He nurtures it. And that's where real connection lies. So if you ever find yourself questioning whether his intensity is care, ask yourself, does it make me feel safe or does it make me feel small? Love will never need to control you to keep you. The right man will never need to shrink you to feel close to you. He'll just show you, over and over again, that your heart is safe with him. When a man sees a woman as just an option, his effort tends to be short-lived and conditional. It's often driven by a momentary desire, by attraction, or by a need for attention or validation. In the beginning, it might even feel like he's putting in real effort. He might be calling, texting, making plans. But you'll notice something after a while. The effort doesn't build. It doesn't go anywhere. It plateaus, or worse. It fades, and you start to feel it. The energy shifts. What used to be enthusiasm turns into obligation. Communication becomes inconsistent. The things he did in the beginning, checking in, making time, initiating conversations, planning dates, start to taper off. Suddenly, you're the one doing most of the reaching out. You're the one trying to keep the connection alive. And when you bring it up, he tells you you're overthinking, that everything's fine, that he's just busy. But when someone sees you as an option, they'll always make you feel like you're asking for too much, even when you're asking for the bare minimum. Because in his mind, the relationship isn't something he's building. It's something he's enjoying in the moment until something else feels more exciting, easier, or more aligned with where he is. His effort is reactive, not proactive. It comes in waves depending on his mood, his schedule, his loneliness. And that's the core of the issue. He's not thinking long term. He's not thinking about how to grow with you. He's thinking about how to keep your attention just long enough to keep his options open. When you're just an option, you don't feel emotionally anchored. You feel like you're floating somewhere in the middle, not rejected, but not chosen either. He avoids defining the relationship. He avoids conversations about the future. He dodges accountability with vague language. Let's just see where this goes. I'm not ready for anything serious. Or I really like you, but I don't want to rush anything. And it's not that those words don't carry truth. Sometimes timing really is off. But when a man sees you as the one, timing doesn't become a barrier. It becomes something he's willing to work through. Because when a man sees you as the one, the energy shifts from temporary effort to long-term intention. He's not just trying to keep you interested, he's trying to build something with you. And it's not just about the way he talks, it's about the way he shows up. His actions are aligned with his words. He doesn't make promises he doesn't intend to keep, and he doesn't just show up when it's convenient. He shows up when it counts. You'll notice it in the way he plans not just dates, but a life that includes you in it. He begins to think in we instead of just me. He considers your opinions when making decisions. He takes your dreams into account when talking about his future, And those conversations don't feel forced. They happen naturally because that's where his heart is. He's not just imagining a future, he's imagining one with you in it. When you're the one, you're not guessing whether he's serious. You're not questioning if he's ready. He might not have all the answers, but he's clear about you. He may be figuring things out in other areas of his life, career, purpose, healing, but his effort with you remains stable. It's not perfect, but it's consistent. That's the difference. Love isn't perfect. Relationships aren't perfect. But when you're chosen, you know it because someone is willing to do the work, even when it's hard, even when they're tired, even when life throws obstacles in the way. And let's be honest, building something real requires a level of effort that goes beyond attraction. It goes beyond chemistry. It goes beyond good vibes. A long-term vision requires sacrifice. It requires patience. It requires emotional maturity. And a man who sees you as the one wants to offer that because what he sees in you is worth that level of investment. You don't have to chase that kind of man. You don't have to convince him to commit, to communicate, to show up. He wants to because commitment to him isn't a trap. It's a choice. It's an honor. He sees the value in what you bring. He feels grounded by your presence. He's not afraid to grow beside you. He's not intimidated by your strength. And he's not using you to pass the time while he figures himself out. There's also a sense of responsibility that comes with being the one. When a man truly values you, he takes ownership of his role in the relationship. He doesn't just take your love for granted. He respects it. He feels the weight of it, not as a burden, but as something sacred. He knows that love isn't just about receiving. It's about reciprocating. He shows you over and over again that he's thinking long-term by being emotionally consistent in the present. It's easy for someone to make effort at the start when everything is new and exciting. But real connection shows up in how someone treats you after the excitement fades. After the newness wears off, after you've had your first disagreement, after life gets stressful, is he still emotionally present? Is he still invested? Is he still choosing you? Because love is not built on moments, it's built on patterns. And a man who sees you as the one creates patterns of showing up, patterns of making space for your needs, patterns of building trust, not breaking it. He's not perfect, but he's intentional. He's not always romantic, but he's real. And in that realness, you find something even more valuable than butterflies. You find security. So if you're finding yourself in a situation where the energy is hot and cold, where the words are sweet but the actions don't follow through, where the future feels like a fog instead of vision, it might be time to ask yourself if he's truly building something with you or just keeping you around to fill a space. Because when you're the one, a man doesn't let effort fade. He lets it evolve.